George Orwell once wrote, "All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others." It was a brilliant critique of hypocrisy and the abuse of power, showing how corrupt leaders twist the language of equality to protect privilege. Many would argue that Uganda has increasingly mirrored Orwell's Animal Farm, where some public officials accused of corruption appear untouchable. Corruption, critics say, has become normalized, especially for those considered politically connected or willing to share the proceeds of public funds.
And the president has heard your cries where you said that when your child misbehaves, you beat and say go back and do something good. And you're better off having a child even if she goes and eats something, so long as she brings back home.
And in some cases, even the rule of law seems negotiable as long as one apologizes.
And I also not tolerate corruption. If it's necessary to have a new war, I will have a new war.
You made it clear in Kololo last year that you used to hear. Now you've confirmed with evidence that there is corruption in the Ministry of Finance and the Parliament of Uganda. My question is, since you proved that, what have you done? Why don't you arrest these corrupt people with evidence?
They were arrested. Namuju, Akamba, and so on. And many of them repented. And once you repent, there is forgiveness.
But what happens when someone is no longer willing to play along? Recent events suggest they quickly become isolated. For the last few days, former Speaker of Parliament Anita Among has dominated discussions across various social media platforms. The Bukedia woman member of Parliament, who served as Speaker of the 11th Parliament, is currently under investigation over allegations of corruption and abuse of office. The investigation appears to have been triggered by public outrage over her lavish lifestyle, including a Daily Monitor report claiming she acquired a 2025 Rolls-Royce Cullinan valued at 440,000 euros, estimated at between 3.4 and 4 billion Ugandan shillings after taxes. Public debate also intensified over a dress she wore at President Museveni's inauguration, alleged to have cost about $8,000. On April 30th, 2024, the United Kingdom imposed sanctions on Anita Among, former Karamoja Affairs Minister Marigoret Chitutu, and Minister Agnes Nandutu. The sanctions included asset freezes and travel bans over alleged corruption. Among was linked to the 2023 Karamoja iron sheets scandal after reports emerged that she had received 500 iron sheets meant for vulnerable communities in Karamoja. Although she denied requesting them, she later returned 500 iron sheets, which she said she bought herself in order to protect the image of Parliament.
I want to go and give blood, but I want assurance from government whether these ministers who stole Mabati will not steal blood. I am available to go and give blood, even today.
Honorable members, the way you're talking about Mabati, it's like it's the first thing that has ever been stolen in Uganda. So many things have been stolen. And the people who stole are in court. So it shouldn't be an issue, it shouldn't be an excuse. If you want to give blood, give blood. Don't talk. You've kept boring us about Mabati. Me, I'm bored of it. There are other important things that we should talk about.
The UK government also alleged that Among owned property in London, specifically Flat 4, Silk House, 7 Waterden Road, London, E30 3AL. Among dismissed the sanctions and allegations, describing them as a political witch hunt linked to her opposition to homosexuality.
I'm told I have so many assets in UK and a lot of accounts in UK. Unfortunately, I've only been in UK once. I don't even have a postcard in UK. These sanctions are politically motivated. The bill that you passed in this house, we are carrying a cross. I am carrying a cross for the 48 million Ugandans.
However, on February 4th, 2025, the Inspector General of Government cleared Among of any wrongdoing. While several ministers were implicated in the Iron Sheets scandal, Agnes Nandutu eventually became what many observers described as the sacrificial lamb.
So the offense was not so much about what you use them for. It was largely about receiving them, knowing that you are not supposed to receive them. So any of the people in that list would have been charged. Of course, some people were charged with other offenses, some were eventually withdrawn by the DPP without giving any explanation as to why these have been withdrawn.
Amongst Rolls-Royce patches appeared to raise many eyebrows even among some within government circles, including Chief of Defense Forces General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, Muhoozi wrote, "I have been Muzee's son for 52 years, but I have never sat in a Rolls-Royce ever. I don't think Muzee has sat in one either." Many political observers interpreted the statement as the beginning of Among's fallout with sections of the ruling establishment. The Patriotic League of Uganda, PLU, which had initially been associated with Among politically, later withdrew support for her interest in becoming Speaker of the 12th Parliament. At one point, Among had publicly stated that after her tenure, she would hand over office to her little brother, Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa. It is also important to note that PLU distanced itself from Tayebwa. The group eventually endorsed Oboth Oboth for the speakership through statements shared on the X account of its leader. Some analysts say corruption continues to thrive because of weak investigative institutions, many of which appear unable or unwilling to act independently without political approval. There is now speculation that investigations into the Karamoja Iron Sheets scandal could resurface after General Muhoozi Kainerugaba recently revisited the matter on his X account. Yesterday, a joint team of police, UPDF, and other security operatives raided Among's residence in Nakasero near Farewell Hotel in Kampala. The operation continued today at another residence in Chigo, Kampala. According to Chira Municipality MP and lawyer George Misisi, Uganda's biggest challenge is the selective application of the law, where some individuals appear shielded because of the offences they hold.
It's largely about the will to effectively implement the law. If you look at the case of Honorable Agnes Nandutu, which was charged with and eventually convicted, any of the people, any of the recipients on that list of those who received iron sheets could be charged with the same offences, because the key ingredients involved receiving things which you ordinarily would have reasonably expected to know that you're not intended to receive them. Most of the beneficiaries on this list were government ministers, were MPs, who must have had knowledge that they would not ordinarily be the recipients of iron sheets.
Musisi argues that the politicization of corruption cases has fostered a culture of impunity, allowing powerful individuals to operate without fear of accountability. There is growing speculation that the investigations could eventually extend to other powerful figures long accused of mismanaging or looting public resources. For now, many Ugandans are watching to see whether the rule of law will prevail or whether political influence, apologies, and connections will once again determine the outcome. Lydia Feli Akulu, NTV Weekend Edition.